is continuously indulging in Pathikrit. What do you make of these recent statements that have come our way from Imran Khan, just now, in terms of this nuclear threat, this latest threat, but also in what he said earlier in Pakistan as well?
Uday, first of all, I think, Mr. Imran Khan is a new entrant to politics, so he doesn't have much understanding of history. The reason why I say this is that, this nuclear threat that they have been giving, he has been giving, it has been given in the past as well. And the nuclear bluff of, nuclear threat of Pakistan or bluff has been exposed twice. In 1999, during the Kargil intrusion that they did, India did whatever it had to do. During the Balakot airstrike also, India did whatever it had to do. During the surgical strike of 2016 also, India has done what was needed to be done. And on all three occasions, we have seen that the nuclear threat did not actually, materialize into anything. Pakistan's entire bluff was exposed. Now, let us understand, Imran Khan today is not only exposed and isolated in terms of the perception battle, as sir rightly said, but from the economic point of view also, they have been completely cornered and they are on the verge of bankruptcy. In the Islamic world, where they always played the Islamic card, today, that also has failed. The UAE actually gave Order of Zayed, the highest award, civilian award, to Prime Minister Modi. And if you look at some of the statements coming from the Dubai's head of security, who said that the Pakistanis are actually a threat in terms of to the Gulf society. In Saudi Arab, what has happened very interestingly, they are actually blacklisting many of the doctors who come from Pakistan degrees. So overall, Pakistan has been cornered. Now, they were expecting three things to happen in Kashmir. First, they were expecting a civilian uprising. It did not happen. Secondly, they took it to United Nations with the expectation that it will get a lot of traction. It flopped. Third, Imran Khan also did quite a bit of nuclear fear mongering in the recent past. It did not actually get traction. The world ignored. Now, he's again doing it, realizing that there is tremendous internal pressure. But let us understand, even these things that he is saying is hollow, let us not lower our guard for the simple reason that terrorism as an instrument of statecraft, Pakistan has not done away with. So the threat remains very profound in terms of these organizations that they have nurtured, incubated, trained, financed and created Frankenstein for so many decades. They might try to do something in the next 2-3 months. India has to be very careful. Imran Khan is not the problem. The problem is the terror organizations that have been created. They have not vanished in thin air. So India has done the right accords in terms of diplomacy, in terms of military. They have done the things right. Today, the threat is no more into Kashmir only. The entire country has to be very cautious about the threat that we can face in our critical infrastructures. Don't ignore what they can do and to what extent they can go. Recently they actually released dirty water into Sutlej. They might do anything. They might poison, they might use a dirty nuclear bomb. So a lot of things are there. I'm sure the government of India and the nuclear security experts have factored all these things when they went ahead. And these threats have been there for a long time. But this is not the time to lower the guard. And I'm sure everyone is up to it.
Okay. Let me also, in fact, play out for our viewers what Prime Minister Modi and the United States President Donald Trump said today, while also addressing the media on the host of bilateral issues that they discussed. Just look at their measured tones and their response on this issue and others, and then you compare it with what Imran Khan has been saying.
भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच कई बायलैटरल इश्यूज हैं और पाकिस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री के चुनाव के बाद जब मैंने उनको टेलीफोन किया था तब मैंने उनसे कहा है कि पाकिस्तान को भी गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ना है, भारत को भी गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ना है, पाकिस्तान को भी अशिक्षा के खिलाफ लड़ना है, भारत को भी अशिक्षा के खिलाफ लड़ना है, पाकिस्तान को भी बीमारी के खिलाफ लड़ना है, भारत को भी बीमारी के खिलाफ लड़ना है। हम दोनों देश मिलकर के गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ें, हमारी असुविधाओं के खिलाफ लड़ें और हम मिलकर के दोनों देश की आवाम की भलाई के लिए काम करें। ये संदेश मैंने पाकिस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री जी को भी दिया है और राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप से भी हमेशा हमारे बायलैटरल संबंधों के संबंध में बात होती रहती है।
We spoke last night about Kashmir, and the Prime Minister really feels he has it under control. I know they they speak with Pakistan, and I'm sure that they will be able to do something that will be very good.
You want to
We
add
spoke
something?
about it last night at Gorilla.
Well, let me quickly take that across, to you, Pathikrit, for your analysis. Pathikrit, just compare it. The tones and tenor of Indian Prime Minister Modi on the same issue, along with the United States President, and then compare that with this, this head of state of this banana republic called Pakistan.
Uday, first of all, India is a mature country, and that's the reason that we are not part of G7, but we have been invited as a special partner. Now, let us understand the way, the government of India works. It carries a lot of responsibility, not just for its own country, but globally also. There is a stature, they maintain it. There is nothing that government of India has done in the last few years which can actually provoke a war. Even when Article 370 was abrogated, it was well within the legal rights of government of India without even, compromising anything so far as the line of control is concerned. So the world understands the issues that India has faced regarding terrorism and the turmoil that Pakistan has tried to, provoke, and India has put its position very clearly. So far as Pakistan is concerned, Imran Khan is also somebody who has another name called Taliban Khan. He has been propped up by Pakistan army. The deep state of Pakistan has propped him up. So there is desperation on the part of Imran Khan for the simple reason neither he is in a position to dictate the terms to the Pakistan army, nor the Pakistan army is in a position to actually wage a war. So the only thing that he is trying to do right now is to do a lot of fear mongering, hoping that the world will take notice of what he is trying to say. But it is very clear India's non-proliferation record, India's control over civilian or nuclear weapon systems is very, very foolproof, and India does not want a war for the simple reason that India has a $2.8 trillion economy at stake. We are not a warmongering nation. Whereas for Pakistan, Kashmir and warmongering has been the centrality of their entire foreign policy. Today, that entire ground is shaking and is going off their feet. That's the reason this desperation that is highlighted today with his speech, also because of the fact that they are old friends who have harbored him or his country for a long time are now also pulling the rugs. On the contrary, India is aspiring to be a $5 trillion economy, and it is not just India claiming it, but the world believes that this country, which is secular in nature, which is militarily strong, diplomatically hawkish, economically resilient, is a very critical part of the global world or the global economy. And therefore, India has a responsibility. That's why every time Prime Minister Modi speaks, he speaks as a statesman. He doesn't speak like the way Mr. Imran Khan is speaking, which is like a kid crying loud that I have been robbed of all my assets or of all my demands. So there is a difference, and that difference is today again very promptly and profoundly becoming distinctly visible to the whole world.
Absolutely. And